You were not born to be ruled by your weakness. You were born to conquer it. Every man walking this earth has two sides, one that hungers for greatness and one that begs for comfort. And I tell you this, the side you feed will dominate your destiny. You can lie to the world, pretend you've got it all figured out, but deep down you know when you're losing the battle with yourself. You will never rise to your true potential until you confront and conquer the weakness that lives inside you. That weakness, it isn't out there in the world. It's not the economy, your upbringing, your past, or the people who doubted you. It's that quiet, sly voice within you that says, you can't. The one that whispers, it's too hard. That voice, that parasite of doubt, is the real enemy. And until you declare war on it, until you take full command over it, it will continue to dominate your choices, your habits, your destiny. The man who wins in life is not the one with the perfect plan. He is the one who develops the courage to fight his inner battles. He knows the road to success is not paved with ease and comfort. It is built on the bones of the weak side he killed within himself. Every temptation to procrastinate, every craving for instant gratification, every moment of hesitation must be seen for what it truly is. A test. Either you pass the test by rising in strength, or you fail it by folding into your lesser self. No one ever achieved greatness by negotiating with weakness. Weakness doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your vision, your hunger, or your goals. It only cares about keeping you safe, small and soft. It is the voice of mediocrity, calculated, persuasive, and poisonous. It wants you to sleep in, to take the easy path, to wait for the right time. It only comes to the one who recognizes that every moment of resistance is a moment to build power. When you say no to your weaker impulses, when you push past your comfort zone and into the fire, you begin to awaken a force that's been lying dormant in you your entire life. That force is the real you, the version of you that was never meant to be average. But that version doesn't come alive through wishing. It doesn't respond to talk. It responds to challenge, to struggle, to pain endured with purpose. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, and you do it anyway, you are taking back control. You are silencing the inner coward and giving the warrior a voice. That is what separates the winners from the dreamers. Winners fight their weakness daily. They don't always feel like doing the work, but they do it because they are ruled by purpose, not emotion. You were not put on this earth to blend in. You were placed here to conquer something. First and foremost, yourself. The world will offer 1,000 excuses. Your mind will offer 10,000 more. But there is only one truth that will set you free. You either dominate your weak side, or your weak side will dominate you. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. There is only the battle, and it starts now. Excuses and fear are not harmless thoughts. They are not small obstacles to be casually brushed aside. They are thieves. Bold, persistent thieves that steal your potential, your power, and your time. Every time you hesitate because of fear, every time you justify inaction with an excuse, you are giving up a piece of your future. You are surrendering territory that belongs to your dream. And the more you give, the more they take, until nothing remains but regret and a long list of what could have been. Understand this. Fear is a liar. It is a shadow with no substance. It feeds off your attention and grows when you obey it, but it cannot withstand action. The moment you move forward in spite of it, the illusion shatters. Fear only controls those who bow to it. The man who faces fear, who moves into it, who stares it down and walks through it, that man becomes unstoppable. Because once you realize that fear cannot stop you unless you allow it, you gain a power most men never touch. Excuses are no different. They wear 1,000 disguises. I'm too tired. I don't have time. It's not the right moment. But at their core, every excuse is a permission slip to stay average. It is the voice of weakness pretending to be logical. Excuses feel good in the moment. They offer comfort. They justify delay. But they come with a heavy price. They keep you locked in place while time marches on. They rob you of discipline. They kill momentum. And they make mediocrity feel acceptable. The truth is harsh, but it is liberating. You are either creating results or you are creating reasons. You cannot do both. And the man who continues to build a life around reasons will never hold anything of real value, because value is not created in comfort. It is forged in the fire of consistent, focused action, the kind of action that does not wait for fear to subside or for excuses to disappear, but moves forward anyway. You must become ruthless with your inner dialogue. You must learn to recognize the lies that hold you back and destroy them the moment they appear. Fear is not your guide. Excuses are not your truth. They are signal indicators that you are standing at the edge of growth. And your job is not to step away, but to step forward, to lean in, to push through. Because on the other side of fear, on the far edge of your excuses, is the life you were meant to live. The man who dominates his life does not wait to feel ready. He acts, he decides. He disciplines his mind to reject anything that sounds like compromise. You were not made to serve fear. You were not made to live behind excuses. You were made to rise, and rise you will. When you finally stop giving power to the voice that was never meant to lead. Discipline is not a burden. It is not something to dread or avoid. It is the highest expression of self-respect. It is the clearest signal to yourself and to the world that you are serious about your purpose. You do not build a powerful life by following feelings. You build it by following principles. By making a decision to do what must be done, whether you feel like it or not, that's discipline. That's power. There is a lie being sold everywhere today. This idea that you must feel inspired in order to take action. But inspiration is fleeting. It rises and falls like the wind. If you wait for motivation, you'll still be waiting when the opportunity is gone. The men who rise, the ones who build, who dominate, who lead, they are not ruled by emotion. They are ruled by vision. And they build discipline as the bridge between where they are and where they're going. Discipline is the quiet engine behind every extraordinary life. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg for applause, but it delivers what motivation can't. Consistency. It shows up when you're tired. It keeps pushing when results are slow. It says yes when your body says no. Because discipline isn't about comfort. It's about command. It's the ability to lead yourself, to do what others refuse to do, and to keep your promises when no one's watching. Weakness thrives in the absence of discipline. If you let your emotions decide your actions, you'll never get far. One hard day, one setback, one missed opportunity, and you'll fold. But when you build discipline into your character, you become a force that cannot be moved. You wake up early when no one else will. You train, you build, you sharpen. Without applause, without recognition, without needing anyone to push you. Because you've already made the decision. And once the decision is made, there's nothing left to debate. Every time you practice discipline, you cast a vote for the man you're becoming. Every early morning, every hard rep, every sacrifice adds to your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, and you become someone who does. That shift, that transformation, is how ordinary becomes unstoppable. Understand this. Discipline is not about doing the big things once in a while. It's about doing the small things every day without fail. The world will tell you to relax. Your mind will tempt you to slow down. But the man who respects himself, the man who honors his calling, will ignore that noise and keep marching forward because he knows the truth. Every breakthrough begins with a boring, thankless, disciplined choice. You don't rise by accident. You rise by command. You rise by drawing the line in your own mind and refusing to cross it. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is freedom. It frees you from chaos, from weakness, from regret. It is the shield against failure and the sword of transformation. Build it. Guard it. Live by it. Because without it, nothing lasting can ever be achieved. Greatness is never handed to a man. It is claimed by the one who chooses it. It is not stumbled upon. It is not a matter of luck or fate or chance. It is a result, a consequence, a byproduct of a decision made deep within the soul. That mediocrity is not an option and comfort is not the goal. The world will never force you to rise. It will allow you to drift, to coast, to settle. But if you want to change your life, if you want to become a force to be reckoned with, you must decide to stop drifting and start dominating. Choice is everything. The man who lives by default becomes a slave to his circumstances. He waits for the perfect conditions. He delays, he doubts, and he hopes that something outside of himself will lift him up. But the man who lives by decision is different. He doesn't wait. He acts. He makes a commitment that is final, firm, and unshakable. That decision becomes his compass. It guides his energy, his habits, his time, and from that single choice, momentum is born. You cannot rise while negotiating with hesitation. You cannot achieve power if you leave your progress to chance. You must decide that your future will not be dictated by emotion or excuse. You must decide that you will not tolerate weakness in your life. That's not motivation. That's authority over your own destiny. That's what separates the leaders from the lost. One is waiting for permission. The other is creating a path. If you think the men who succeed are simply lucky, think again. Luck follows effort. Favor finds the man who refuses to be passive. It rewards the man who chooses discipline over distraction, vision over comfort, and action over fear. That's the secret. Not talent, not genius, just a choice made day after day to show up and do the work no matter what. It all begins with a line in the sand, a moment where you say, enough. Enough with playing small. Enough with delaying your calling. Enough with lying to yourself about what you're capable of. Because the truth is this, your life will continue to reflect your standards, and your standards will never rise until you choose to raise them. You don't need to wait for a better opportunity. You need to become the man who creates better opportunities by the strength of his decision. Decide once and for all who you are going to be. Not based on your past, not based on your fears, but based on the fire that still burns inside of you, the part of you that knows you were built for more. That's where power lives. That's where greatness begins, not with a wish, not with a feeling, but with a decision to stop drifting, stop doubting, and start rising. Every legend, every empire, every triumph begins there. And yours can too. But only if you decide. Resilience is not a trait you're born with. It's a force you build through adversity. You do not become strong by avoiding struggle. You become strong by standing in the fire and refusing to be consumed by it. Every setback, every disappointment, every painful defeat is not there to destroy you. It is there to develop you. And the man who understands this never curses the hard times. He uses them He takes the blows, and instead of breaking, he rises, sharper, smarter, stronger. Most men run from adversity. They complain, they fold, they wish things were easier. But easier never built empires. Easier never built character. What builds a man is pressure. What builds a man is the fight he refuses to quit, even when the odds are stacked against him. When life pushes, you push harder. When the storm hits, you plant your feet. You don't ask for lighter burdens, you build a stronger back. Because deep down, you know this. Nothing worthwhile comes without pain. And nothing lasting is built without pressure. You cannot grow without resistance. A muscle only grows when it's torn. A mind only sharpens when it's tested. A spirit only ignites when it's forced to walk through darkness. You were not made to avoid hardship. You were made to endure it and dominate it. Every time life knocks you down and you rise again, you gain power. Not just in skill, not just in ability, but in who you become. That's the real reward. Transformation through trials. Weakness loves comfort. It wants everything smooth, predictable, easy. But greatness grows in chaos. Resilience is the refusal to break when everything says you should. It is the decision to keep going when quitting would be easier. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you refuse to stay down. The man who keeps getting up becomes dangerous because you cannot stop a man who won't surrender. You can delay him, you can test him, but you cannot defeat him. Every hardship in your path is an invitation to become more. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Prepared to lead, prepared to build, prepared to carry the weight of a life worth living. But you cannot embrace that life if you avoid every challenge. You have to lean into it, welcome it, because pain with purpose is the birthplace of power. Struggle doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're forging something within yourself that comfort could never produce. If you want to stand tall, you must first learn to rise from your knees. If you want to lead, you must first learn how to survive when it's just you and your will. The world honors the man who endures, the one who doesn't panic, doesn't fold, and doesn't retreat. And that man's not built in peaceful times. He is built when the pressure is highest and the stakes are real. So when adversity shows up, don't fear it, face it. Because that's where your greatness is hiding. On the other side of the fight you've been avoiding. You already have the fire. It's there, deep within you, waiting to be unleashed. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need approval from anyone. What you need is a decision, a raw, unapologetic decision to awaken the force that's been lying dormant inside you for too long. The fire was placed in you for a reason, not to keep you warm, but to forge you into something greater. You were not born to live lukewarm. You were born to burn with purpose, with hunger, with unstoppable drive. Most people walk through life unaware of the power they carry. They move cautiously, quietly, with their heads down, afraid of being too much, afraid of standing out, afraid of failing. But the truth is, playing small is the greatest failure of all. You were not made to blend in. You were made to ignite. You were made to rise so fiercely that others feel your presence before you even speak. That kind of fire doesn't come from the outside, as it comes from the inside. And it's waiting for you to strike the match. You've been told to wait, to be patient, to prepare more. But the truth is, you are already more prepared than you think. You don't need more time, you need more courage. You don't need to know every step, you just need to take the first one. The fire within you isn't fueled by knowledge, it's fueled by action. Massive, determined, relentless action. And once you begin to move, once you begin to fight for what's yours, that fire will grow. It will spread through every area of your life. It will consume your doubts, It will destroy your excuses, and it will light the way forward. Inside you is a version of yourself that the world has never seen. That version doesn't wait. That version doesn't fear. That version doesn't bow to weakness or insecurity or circumstance. That version is focused, dangerous, and alive. But you'll never meet him until you stop hesitating and start becoming. You don't need to find yourself. You need to build yourself brick by brick, day by day, with work, with passion, with unwavering belief that you were made for more. Fire is your responsibility. No one can light it for you. No one can hand you your mission. You must choose it. You must fight for it. You must protect it from the distractions, the doubts, the laziness that would love nothing more than to smother it. And every time you act when it's hard, every time you speak when it's uncomfortable, every time you show up when no one else does, you throw fuel on the flame. Stop searching for something outside of yourself to push you forward. You are the fire. You are the force. You are the one you've been waiting for. And once you decide to unleash what's inside you, nothing will be able to stop you. There is a side of you that only shows itself in the struggle, a version of you that doesn't wake up when everything is smooth and easy. It appears in the fire. It shows up when your back is against the wall, when your options are few, when life demands more than comfort has ever prepared you for. That side of you, the stronger side, the sharper side, the unstoppable side, is waiting. But it doesn't come alive through talk. It comes alive through challenge, through pressure, the relentless forward motion when everything inside you screams to quit. You are not here to stay soft. You're not here to stay safe. You're here to unleash what lies dormant inside you. And to do that, you must go to war with the version of yourself that holds you back, the weak side, the one that chooses comfort over progress, the one that seeks excuses instead of action, the one that flinches in the face of pain, that hides from discomfort, that folds under pressure. That version of you is the only thing standing between where you are and where you know you belong. Every man must face himself, not the version he shows the world, but the one he sees when the lights are off and no one is watching. The version that avoids discipline, the one that breaks promises to himself. That's the real battle. Not against others, not against circumstances, but against the weaker voice inside your own head. That voice is clever. It speaks with reason. It sounds like logic. But it is poison, because every time you obey it, you shrink. You step back. You fall short of what you could have been. To dominate that weak side, you must starve it. Stop feeding with complaints. Stop feeding it with delays. Stop feeding it with compromise. Every time you choose action, you take power from it. Every time you rise instead of rest, speak instead of stay silent, push instead of pause, you weaken its hold. And eventually, it dies. But only if you keep showing up. Only if you keep pressing forward even when it hurts. The strongest men you'll ever see are not those who have never felt weakness. They are the ones who conquered it, who looked it in the eye and said, "You will not rule me anymore." That decision, the decision to dominate your weak side, is the beginning of real transformation. Because once you silence that voice, once you stop giving energy to fear and doubt and hesitation, the true version of you emerges, the one that leads, the one that builds, the one that cannot be stopped. You already know what you must do. You already know where the weakness hides. It's in the skipped reps, the snoozed alarms, the lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. But comfort is not your ally. Comfort is your cage. And the key to breaking free is already in your hand. It's called action. Ruthless, disciplined, daily action that kills your weak side and unleashes the giant that's been buried underneath it all along. The time for hesitation is past. The world doesn't wait, and neither should you. Your potential is limitless, but it will only become reality when you decide to stop making excuses and start taking relentless action. The fire inside you is ready to blaze, but it needs your commitment to fuel it. The struggles you face are not setbacks, they are stepping stones. The very things that will forge you into the person you were always meant to be. Understand this. Greatness is not a gift. It is a choice. A choice to dominate your weak side, to rise when others fall, to keep going when everything tells you to quit. It's a decision to act, to push forward, and to never settle for anything less than your highest potential. You have the power, the discipline, the resilience, and the fire within you to conquer any challenge that stands in your way. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating the perfect moment through your unwavering commitment to your purpose. Now is time to step into your greatness. It's time to claim your future. It's time to dominate, because nothing will stop you once you decide that nothing will. The world is yours for the taking. Go out and take it.